What is going on YouTube? It is your boy Sir Jorge D Great bringing you our team builder for the first week of the BBR, better known as the Breedjets Battle Royale. This week we are prepping for Lieutenant Gold and his sick logo, his Los Angeles Aegislashes. You'll see the logo in just a second. I sort of misprepped here. You're gonna see our first Pokemon. But before we talk about that first Pokemon, we're gonna go over his team. And so hopefully, whenever I do transition to that scene, you'll see his 10 Pokemon. So let's get right into it. The first thing we're gonna be bringing this week. Let me just lower myself just a tad bit. But anyways, the first thing we're going to be bringing this week is going to be Incineroar, but we'll get into him in just a second. His team consists of Aegislash, Como-O, Gyarados, Galvantula, Sirena, Drapion, Muzzo, Colosso, Mr. Mime Regular, Continue Mr. Mime, and Wigglytuff. So whenever looking at this team, his scariest things were going to be his, obviously, I think his first 3 Pokemon were very scary, on top of Galvantula. So Aegislash is a very scary Steel type and Ghost type Pokemon. It has a signature ability in Stance Change, so depending on what form it is, or if you use a status move, it'll be in the Shield form. And it has ridiculous defenses in Shield form. And whenever it's in Blade mode, it has ridiculous attack stats. So it can't set up with like Autotomize. It's relatively slow with base 60. So like it has in order to become like a real threat, it either needs to click Sword Dance with Shadow Sneak, Autotomize Weakness Policy. It can be Specs or Banded. Either way, so it when it does hit, it hits incredibly hard. I use it in the SSBL. This previous season, the season that that is going to end this coming Monday. But yeah, that's the Aegislash. Next up, he has his Como-O, which is a Gen 7 Pokemon. Como-O is a fighting and dragon type Pokemon. It has bulletproof, soundproof, and overcoat. Overcoat will prevent it to take any buffering from like sand, hail. That's pretty much it. So if he does bring it, it could be overcoat because we are a sandy team. If soundproof will negate any sound-based moves to ever hit him, and then bulletproof will prevent any like ball-esque bullet type moves. So that includes Shadow Ball. Actually, now that I think about it, Aurora Sphere, in moves like those. If you guys know what moves boost Mega Launcher, essentially, Como can prevent or will not be hit by those moves. It has a base 85 speed, so it's relatively fast. It has good bulk and 125 defense and 105 special defense. It does get a signature move that was its Z move in Gen 7, and now in Gen 8 it's just its own moves, Clinker's Soul. So what that would do is it will reduce itself by a third and boost every single stat besides HP by 1 stage. So it's kind of scary. I think we allowed it this season. So like if you decide to bring it, that's gonna be scary to deal with because if he goes +1 everything, we won't know if he's special or physical or both. So we'll have to play with that. Anyways, going on to the Gyarados, which is another setup mon for him. Gyarados is a water and flying type Pokemon with Intimidate and Moxie. Intimidate, as you guys know from Incineroar, who we have on the layout at the moment, will lower when it switches in, it'll lower the Pokemon's attack stat. Moxie is sort of like the opposite of that. When Gyarados gets a kill, its attack stat gets boosted by 1. So if it's like Dragon Dance, or Dragon Dance or whatever, and it starts killing Pokemon, it sort of like steamrolls, and so it can become like a huge threat like later down in the game. We get Gyarados in the NCP, but let's not talk about that. Anyways, next up is Galvantula, which is a web setter for him. It's actually his fastest Pokemon, base 108, which is really important to keep in mind. It has 3 abilities, but usually it just runs 1 and Compound Eyes, which will boost its accuracy by 10%. So usually you'll see it run like Thunder, or actually, I'm sorry, it's like 120, something like that. So his Thunders end up becoming like 92% accurate, so they're pretty damn accurate. It can set up webs, it can hit hard with Thunder, Bug Buzz, Energy Ball, Giga Drain even. So I am really worried about Galvantula, or I was very worried. I'm recording this after the battle. I was worried about Galvantula coming because we have a hard time switching into it in general. Like I feel like our team is really weak to it, especially if it does bring webs. So I had to keep that in mind with that. But anyways, that's Galvantula. Next up we have Sirena, which is a bulky grass type Pokemon at base 72. It's usually run as a physical threat. Usually you can see it with an AV or even Banded, Life 4 leftovers. It does get Rapid Spin, and now in this generation, since it does give a speed boost, it's a bigger threat because it can outspeed our base 100 Pokemon, which can be very scary. But yeah, it's one way for him to remove hazards on his side of the field. He has Queenly Majesty, which will prevent any priority moves from ever hitting him if he decides to run it. If not, he could also run like Leaf Guard with Sun, which will prevent him to get like Sadist, like Toxic Burn, Sleep, whatever it may be. Next up, which is another Pokemon I am worried about, is going to be Drapion. Drapion it's really hard on the physical side. It's a very good Pokemon too. It's a base 95 speed, so it's right behind the Gigantula and just ahead of the Komodo. Drapion can set up T-Spikes if he wanted to. It's a good Dark-type Pokemon with Knockoff, Poison Jab, Earthquake, Fell Stinger if it wants to be a setup set, and it can be. It has Battle Armor, Sniper, and Keen-Eye. We know what Sniper does because of our Inteleon, which will boost our critical hits damage. Battle Armor will prevent any crits from happening on his side, and then Keen-Eye will prevent any accuracy drop, which may not come into play that often because we will hardly. I don't think any accuracy dropping moves are allowed in the league. Anyways, moving on, he has the Mudsdale. What Mudsdale does is it's basically his rocker. It's a dedicated rocker in my opinion because it really doesn't do much out of it. You run basically EQ, Heavy Slam, and like Rock Slide, a coverage move. With rocks, with the stamina, it's always gonna run stamina in my opinion. I see why not. I don't see any reason not to run stamina. Well, stamina does. If it gets hit by any move, its defense does get boosted by one stage. So the idea is to take a lot of hits to get to max defense. The only way this sort of tag lags is that Mudsdale doesn't have a really good way to recover that well. So it can take a lot of hits, but or it can take a few hits to boost its defense, but it's sort of like a one-sided shield, because if you hit it on the special side, its stamina boost is not going to do anything for it. So it's something we have to keep in mind. So we would have to keep our special hitters alive and well to deal with this Mudsdale, because otherwise, if we only bring physical attackers, we sort of get screwed by Mudsdale. Anyways, moving on, he has the Colossal, which is a rock fire type Pokemon. It's another rocker for him. It does get a new move in generation called Tar Shot. So if you just click that, we will be affected by fire type hits. So if suppose like we were a normal type, he goes for Tar Shot, his Flamethrower will actually be super effective now. But anyways, he has Steam Engine, Flame Body, and Flash Fire. Flash Fire gives him an immunity to fire type hits. Steam Engine will max his speed if he's hit by a water or fire type move, which would be cool to bring on his end. And yeah, it's a rocker for him. It also set up spikes and rapid spin things away. He has the Cantonian Mr. Mime, which is a base 90. As I do this Teambuilder, he actually switched it out for Galarian Mr. Mime, so I sort of that's a little 1k off. But Mr. Mime, Cantonian Mr. Mime, is a Psychic and Fairy type Pokemon that I don't think it's access to Rapid Spin. It's a screen setter for him. I really didn't expect him to bring it this week because we do have Red Mysterio, which can deal with it pretty nicely. And we do have Jirachi, which outspeeds it if we run max speed. And so yeah, that's really what my thought process was there, so I wasn't too worried about Mr. Mime. And finally he has Wigglytuff, which is another fairy type Pokemon for him. It's a normal fairy. It has a lot of HP and 104 HP stat. It's just another Pokemon. I honestly was not expecting it at all. It does get Cute Charm, Competitive, and Frisk. Cute Charm will like affect if he gets hit by a physical hit. I think it's solely physical. There's a chance that we get affectionate. Our Pokemon will get like affectionate towards it. So basically, we may like not attack it because its Pokemon's in love, quote unquote. Competitive will boost its attack or attack stat if there's the same gender on the other side of the field. But if there's the opposite gender, then unfortunately it does lower its attack stat. And finally, it's Frisk, because the ability that Eggy has, when Wigglytuff would enter the field, they would actually see our item, which is no bueno. So, like I mentioned before, I was very scared of those Force 4 Pokemon. So when I started building, the first Pokemon that was actually on the school was Ray Mysterio, because it was the Aegislash pretty well in my opinion. Like, he would need to have like a good damage output, like a Beast Spec, expanded, plus to actually do something to us. And if he is physical, then our Intimidate will lower that attack stat, and we can like knock off his item, Flare Blitz to Oblivion, Parting Shot to lower its stats. So that's really the idea I had here. So that's why we're rocking Intimidate. We're also rocking our booties here. So the booties here will like allow us to switch in freely. We'll get free Intimidates off every single time we switch in. It's guaranteed. Rocking the Adamant Nature to just for max attack. We have 244 HPs, EVs in HP, 160 in attack, and 100 in speed. That plus sign should not be there. I'll get that fixed by the next time I do my Teambuilders. So with this speed set, I think we're outspeeding him 0 speed Sirena if he decides to bring a bulkier set. so that we can like catch him off guard, flare blitz him, whatever it may be. We have Thunder Punch totally for that Gyarados if it wants to try to come in. We can just Thunder Punch it in the face and like hopefully catch him off guard if he goes for like maybe a sub or a D-dance on us. It should do a good amount to him. We have knockoff to remove. It's good stat. We are allowed to remove our opponent's items, and then finally parting shot is just purely for momentum, so we can switch things. We can get into a Pokemon that can set up later down the road. Anyways, that's going to be our first Pokemon of the team. Moving on to the next. I went in the wrong order, so we'll just talk about this. This was meant to go for last, but I guess we're doing it now. Next up, we're going to be bringing Bless Up the Jirachi. Bless Up here, I actually really like this set. It's almost like a meme set, but it's not, because it's actually pretty good. So, I mentioned before, his fastest thing is it's going to be the Gavangela. And if he doesn't bring it, then Jirachi and another Pokemon that we're bringing this week will be the fastest thing on the field for sure. So it was Bless Up to the Jirachi. We're bringing Serene Grace, that's our only ability, but we're bringing Power Herb Meteor Beam. Now, I think if you guys didn't miss the just analysis, by all means go check it out. There should be like a card in front of me. Go to my channel, click on it so you guys can get a better idea of what our team is, and what sort of what it can do. Just to give it the rundown, Meteor Beam is a 2-turn attack that will boost our special attack by 1 stage upon just clicking it. So with Power Herb, it will reduce that 2-stage attack to just 1, and so we get instantly a +1 104 special rock type attack. And when I was looking at his team, the only like 2 Pokemon that took it pretty well were the Como-O and the Aegislash, but they didn't appreciate either Shadow Ball or Dazzling Gleam, which is why we're bringing them. So the idea here is to click Thunder Wave on the Como-O, on the Gyarados, who may want to set up, or even the Drapion, who may want to try to set up on us. And so we'll click Thunder Wave so we get the chance of paralysis, and then we can just click Meteor Beam, and then sort of try to beat him with Shadow Ball and Dazzling Gleam. Ideally, we should have brought like Dual Stab and Flash Cannon and Psyshock or Psychic, but I thought I liked sort of the coverage we got was D-Gleam and Shadow Ball. But anyways, we're rocking the Timid Nature, which will boost our speed and our attack stat, and lower our attack stat. We're running 76 HP, 252 special attack, and 180 speed. With this, we're definitely outspeeding Como-O, not the Drapion. Actually, it might be the Drapion. I don't remember. It's one of the two. But anyways, that's the idea. And what's cool about being Power Herb is once we do click Meteor Beam, if the Drapion decides to go for like the knockoff, it's only going to be a base 65 move because we will consume our item, and we won't actually have an item for him to knock off, which is amazing. Anyways, that's going to be our Jirachi set, our Bless Up set, and hopefully it does do some work, and you guys will see tomorrow for sure. Alright, next up, we have for the 1 week, and we decided to bring him for the 1 week. We're bringing Jiggonite, the Jigglypuff. Was 30 actually. We're not bringing Sandstream, and I'll explain in just a second what happened there. We're rocking the normal gem. We're rocking Rocks, EQ, Heavy Slam, and Explosion. So the idea behind here is we literally go in and we go boom. If we can get Rocks up, that'd be great. I'm not expecting to. Like, he isn't like Colossal doesn't appreciate the rocks. Galvi and Gyarados don't appreciate rocks, but I wasn't too like nervous to get rocks up. Here it's just to him to go boom and to weaken something severely, so we can go into Jirachi or another Pokemon of ours, so we can just nick the kill. We're Brave Nature, we're max HP, max attack, with some defensive investment. So again, we go boom, and then we go to the next Pokemon. If it doesn't kill, then we go to something else that can actually secure the kill. But anyways, that's gonna be Juggernaut this week, and he will be gone next week. I'm pretty sure. Like I'm like 90% sure. Next up we're bringing is Sporty, the Passimian, with the Defiant ability, with the Choice Scarf. So this is sort of our speed control outside of Jirachi and somebody else. So we're rocking Gunk Shot, Close Combat, Knockoff, U-Turn. Gunk Shot is really good because he does have 2 Fairy type Pokemon and Sirena, so this is gonna hit him a whole hard. Close Combat is just a good stab for him. Knockoff is for the Aegislash, so we can hit him hard somehow. We should probably be running like EQ instead, but we decided to go with the knockoff, and then U-turn purely for momentum, so we can go in, U-turn out to see what he wants to go for via Passimian. And yeah, we're rocking an Adamant Nature this week. We're 104 HP, 252 in attack, and 152 in speed. So with we're outspeeding. We have like a little bit more like points for speed. So in case he predicts us to like speed creep only his Scavangela, we have a few more points there. So we can outspeed his speed creep essentially, and we do have the HP investment to like make sure we live maybe a few hits. Next up on the list is gonna be James Pond. The Inteleon was Sniper as his ability and the Scope Lens. So when I looked at his team, I noticed how it's a good thing we have James Pond because he's a base 120, so he has speed to everything. We're rocking Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, Dink Pulse, Scald, and U-Turn. Maybe we should have brought Snipe Shot this week instead of Scald, but what Scope Lens will do, it will boost our critical chance by one stage. So, instead of having a 6.25% chance of critting, we actually now have a 12.5% chance of critting. With the Sniper ability, it will convert, instead of doing 175% more damage, or 75% more damage for a crit, we actually do 150 extra damage. So our attacks are doing 250% total. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Ice Beam and Dink Pulse are actually really good coverage moves on his on my end. It hits almost everything, and then Dink Pulse hits the Dink Pulse hits the Aegislash, which is really important. And then Scald is a good stab, and really good for like the Colosso and the Mudsail, which don't appreciate the hits. And then U-Turn is just purely for momentum. We're rocking max speed, which may seem odd, but I have a reason for it. So it turns out that Modest Inteleon does not outpace Galvantula, which is something I was not a fan of. So I decided, you know what, if we do like to outpace the Galvantula and we're timid, I was like, you know what, might as well rock max speed, because I just didn't want to play those mind games. So we always secured like outspeeding him. There's no mind games of him saying, oh, he might try to outpace my Galvantula. So that's the whole reason why, because Modest Inteleon did not outpace timid or jolly Galvantula. So yeah, that's James Pond this week, and hopefully he does put some work. I say as if I already know, but you guys don't know, because you'll find out tomorrow if you guys are watching this. Anyways, and our final mod for this week is going to be Commander the Dracozolt was Volt Azord. So I did mention that we have a hard time dealing with Galvantula, and I think this is one way we can deal with him. Having him an immunity to one of his stab attacks is really important. I mentioned before we're bringing Jigglypuff. We're bluffing that we're Soundstream, we're bluffing that we're Sandrush, because Dragozolt's really scary to my opponent. You know, nobody really likes, besides the Muzzo, no one really appreciates taking a Bolt Beak, especially if it's Choice Banded Adamant Bolt Beak. So that's really what it is. We're rocking basically we're rocking an Adamant Nature, we're max HP, max attack with some defense investment, or Bolt Beak, Fire Fang, Rock Slide, and Earthquake. I'm gonna switch this over so where the moves are at the bottom, but that is for feature Jorge. Anyways, yeah, that is the team. So we're gonna keep Dracozolt in the back. So you know, with Dracozolt, we can take at least one hit from one of the Pokemon for max HP. I'm pretty sure. And then we just click Bolt Beak, or we click a move, whatever is more effective against the opponent. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the team down below. Next week, Jellison should be joining the squad, so we have everything ready for that. Let me know what you guys think of the updated drafts, Teambuilder slides. I worked on them for like a good 4 hours yesterday, and I'm realizing that I still gotta fix them even now. But anyways, I will sign things off here. You guys do know me as Jorge Great. Make sure you are printing the word of Lolanegi. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the first week of the BBR. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.